What's going on, trainers? For a long time in Kardmi, we have dealt with a large glaring problem. There's not enough in-game content. I'm just going to come right out and say it. There's not enough in-game content. The devs have been working hard to kind of meet this problem head on, and they've released their newest piece of content designed specifically for the in-game. The question is it any good? That's the question we'll be diving into today. So, we'll be looking at the new event, the Echoes of Myriad Spirits, the new in-game content, its rewards, what I loved, what I hated, everything revolving around the new in-game content. Let's go ahead and dive into it. So to dive in completely, let's take a look at what the Echoes of Myriad Spirits is essentially, and what I was hoping it was going to be. It is essentially what I was hoping it was going to be. It is a raid-like mechanic where you fight a in-game boss, in this case, Shimura, um, and you have to team up. You can either team up with friends or you can do it solo. And then the only difference is if you do it solo, you don't get the reward shard to kind of help kind of give yourself permanent buffs in future battles in the event. There are mechanics that are, and I say mechanics, I use that term loosely, but let's read the write-up when it comes to the event itself, because as we can see, there are some pretty cool rewards. A new gear set, actually something I didn't even really think about in terms of rewards of this kind of like event. But we're going to read the write-up, and it says, Roaring in the ice, Shimura has awakened from the depths of the dream. Call your Kardmi and defeat this mighty boss. After winning, 70 Echo Starlight will be automatically consumed to claim the rewards. So the Echo Starlight is going to be this currency up in the corner where it says 210. So you can battle them 4 times a day. Or 4 times a week. I'm not really sure, to be honest with you. But these are some of the mechanics. Nightmare Orb. Shimura lies onto a target. Use the shield skill to block the attack or suffer heavy damage. And so there'll be like a prompt on your screen when this attack is coming, and you'll have to use the shield. Drown in Nightmare. Shimura marks all players complete the QTE in time to dodge, and failure deals again more massive damage and restores Shimura's HP. Nightmare descends. Shimura raises the shield and charges. Use counter skills to weaken the shield and break the charge. If the shield remains, all players will suffer fatal damage. So, on paper, when I read this, I was like, okay, this is really exciting. This is something that I really, really like. And this is, like I said, I want some raid-like mechanics, and that is essentially what we have here. We have mechanics that kind of prevent you from going full auto mode and just hacking away at him. And when I first started the battle too, I was like, okay, he's also kind of chunky. I like that as well, because when I said I want to raid like content, and I meant to make a video, I think last week or the week before, when the news first came out about this event, and we were kind of given a teaser. I meant to make a video and in that video, I wanted to say, I want this to be painfully difficult because there's so much content in the game that is already easy, right? I think the Elite Four is probably the hardest content we have, and it's really only hard because you have to level up 2 teams, which can be quite time consuming. So this, I was pretty excited. I was like, okay, give us a challenge. And these mechanics are definitely a welcome change. I really like that they did this. The rewards, I think, are also really well done, and something that they can grow on in the future and kind of expand on. Because I think maybe you could add a couple other extra rewards in there as well. I think they've added the gear set. I really, really think they should add a cosmetic set for players to complete this. So those are the things that I like. Um, like I said, I like the rewards. I think I'll probably only make some minor tweaks to him. I like the mechanics. I'm dreading this part of the video because I have to be like truly honest with you guys. Like, this is a really cool concept on paper, but I just find myself not liking it. Like, I played it for a few minutes, and partially because I had to actually go help someone here at work, I just kind of left it on auto. But at the same time, too, I was like, I'm not having fun. Like, this is interesting, right? It's a, like I said, a very good idea on paper, but here are my problems with it. Um, there's no cosmetic reward, like I said. That's a minor gripe. However, initially when I spawned in the battle, like I said, I thought he was chunky. And then the more I hit him, I was like, okay, wait a minute. He's not as chunky as I thought he was. He's not any chunkier than, like, a legendary event boss. And for that reason, he's just not that tough. And what I really, really don't like, it absolute most, is I said I wanted this to be painfully difficult. But listen, and you're gonna see here, like, he knocks out my Snow. I just throw him right back in. And that happens if your entire team wipes. You just replace him. You can't lose. That is a major problem to me. I wanted challenging content where there's actually some risk, some hey, you get these really great rewards, but you may also get your ass kicked, you know. And if you get your ass kicked, you've got to grind and come back tougher and more prepared for this fight. And then that way, when you do win, it's even more rewarding. But as you'll see with the background footage of this, I kept it on auto even when I got done with my task at work here, because I was like, this is just time consuming. Like, don't get me wrong, it's a 10-minute battle, and I don't mind a 10-minute battle. I don't. Because, like I said, I have mentioned multiple times, I want this to be hard as hell. I do not want this to be something that someone mid game can complete. And unfortunately, with the level 50 cap, which is another thing that infuriated me about this event, it's accessible to people in the mid game, and it shouldn't be. This should be another. You can't introduce an in game event and allow mid game players into it. I just don't enjoy that. I don't like that. It doesn't make any sense to me. So, I think the idea is great on paper. We went over what I liked, what I didn't like. I'm gonna throw some suggestions out there because we do have Culkin coming. Excuse me. And I don't know how much more different he will be. I don't imagine he'll be that much different. But this is the problem with Kardmi. There's just not enough content, and it took them forever. It took them literally probably a month and a half to make this content for us. And I know they're working on new Kardmi Parallel, and they're working on Season 3 Parallel, so it's not like they put their heads down and took a month and a half to just make this and nothing else is coming. I'm well aware that they're, very busy, they're making more content. But for those of us who had already completed Season 2 and were looking for a reason to jump back in, like myself, and this came out and I, beat it in 10 minutes. Okay. Now what? Right? It's not something that's rewarding enough that I'm going to keep doing it. Like, this is something that's just going to be another task that I do like once a week because, first crew you're going to get 8 boxes or 8 gear boxes. And I know maybe I got lucky, but I got like 2 or 3 golds out of this at the end. We'll go over what the new gear pieces do. I believe right off the top of my head, if I remember right before I get to it in the video, it's 2 pieces gives you like 11% skill damage, and then with 4 pieces, if you strike first, you get 50% extra damage or skill damage. I can't remember which one. We'll confirm that later in the video though. But again, it's a very, very easy task. It's just not what I was hoping for. And if you are like me and haven't played Kardmi for about a month or longer, and you see this update, see these teases in the Discord, and you're like, hey, is this a good reason to jump back in? No, it's not. Unfortunately, it's not. It's just not enough content. You're gonna be like me. You're gonna do it once. You're gonna do it maybe twice, and you're like, all right, now what do I do? Because you completed the content already in the game, especially if you've already defeated the Elite Four. Which, to be fair, I haven't. I just haven't put the grind in, and it's not because I can't. It's just because I'm just not motivated to. Because I know I have near level 100 Kardmi, and I have another team of like level 60s, which I'm working on getting to level 70 at some point. My goal, since I didn't defeat the Elite Four last season, is to defeat them this season. This is the boon system I was talking about. When you defeat Shimura or Culkin with a team, you're going to get one shard. You're going to be allowed to unlock one boon. I believe there's four. You get extra damage resistance, extra damage dealt. And then I'm not. Yeah. Yeah. And then you can kind of get, once you unlock a four, you get this cool banner. Cool reward. Again, it's just not enough. It's not it's not no, I don't want to say immersive, and I don't think inclusive is the right word. It's not interactive enough. It's the word I'm looking for. Unfortunately, there's not enough. Like, it'd be different if you were kind of like running your character around like a battlefield or like a dungeon, a small dungeon. Even if it was only like a couple in a dungeon, that would be really neat. But unfortunately, it's just not. It's very easy to switch this to auto, forget about it, and just collect your rewards at the end. And it's not going to take you too terribly long because, like I said, this is just not a hard event to complete. And unfortunately, you can't fail it. I'm just disappointed, guys. Like, I really, really hope Season 3 brings some major changes to Kardmi. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Those are my completely honest thoughts about this new piece of content for Kardmi. Let me know what you get. Like I said, let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Whether you guys agree or disagree, how you would change this mode. And I'll catch you guys in the next one.